Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Brad Walk from Cage Warriors. You're watching the Fight Week Show. Like, share, and subscribe for all that good stuff. You do not want to miss it.
Let's go. It's the Fight Week Show, Fight Week Show fans, Fight Week Show people. And look who we got back in the house. It's Big Mody, Modestas Bukauskas in the house, man. How you doing, my bro?
Yes, my brother. So good to speak with you, mate. Yeah, doing good, thank you.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad we're able to pull you back on the show. You've had a big month and a half. Even a big year, I'd say, stemming from New Year's Eve up until now. Like, it don't stop for you, man. Like, how?
Yeah, man, we've got to keep going. We've got to keep the engines rolling. Momentum is a big thing in this game, man. You've got to keep it flowing, you know.
For real. I can't argue with that, man. I mean, let's start with you getting that short notice call. You know, from UFC for UFC 284 in Perth, Australia. I saw your whole travel down there, and even the cut, everything. How? I mean, you was having a cut on your birthday, bro.
Yeah,
crazy.
Mate. What
was that whole journey about? Please
man. So I'll start from when I even got the call. So I was training. Like I always stay in shape. You know me. My manager after the knockout on New Year's Eve, he said, "Listen, just stay ready because potentially if there's a short notice call up there, they're going to call you for that." And it's weird because I don't know, like mystically, I had my eye on that Perth card. Anyways, I was thinking if one of these two guys pull out, your boy would jump in. You know what I mean? He would do the job to fill in that spot. And I kind of just had my eye on it, but obviously thinking nothing of it, but just thinking, okay, if something does come up, stayed in shape, stayed on weight, training hard all the time, especially with Will Curry, who's one of my main training partners, helping him prepare for his fight. So just ticking over, I'm just making sure I'm in shape and ready to go 3 rounds if I needed to. And then actually, the 2.5 weeks out, on a Wednesday, I was going to training. Or just before I went to training, my manager gives me a call. He says, "Listen, we've got a fight for you on March 24th in Cage Warriors to defend your belt." Right. And I was like, "Oh, great! I have to defend my belt." I'm like, "Okay, well, listen." If the UFC don't want me, then cool. Let's go bag another body and then build up the resume. And he was like, "Yeah, 100%. Let's just get another win, again, build up, get the record up there, get another good performance, and then, we could definitely pitch you even harder next time." And then, so I went to training at BST, did what I had to do, finished training. It was like 10:30 at night. And as I drive to my house, there's like a 5-minute part before my house where there's like no signal. Yeah. And luckily, so at like 10:30 at night, I'm driving home, and I'm just about to hit this part where there's no signal, and I get luckily at that it seemed like fate just sort of fed into my hands at that minute, because my manager called me just before I was about to go in that bit where there's no signal, and I was driving, so I swerved over to the side of the road. I'm like, "Listen, if he's video called me, it's got to be important." But I had no idea that he was going to give me that call. He said, "What's your weight looking like?" I'm like, I'm not fat by any means, so I guess that's a good thing. I said, I'm about 220, 219. He goes, "Good. Well, you're fighting in Australia in 2 weeks." And I was like, "What?" Like, no, I just literally, and at that moment, just like all my emotions just rushed to my head, rushed to my body, all in one moment. I was crying. I was just telling my manager, like, all that we fucking been through, me and you. You know what I mean? To get to this point, to finally be back here. Like, look what the hell happened in this last year. I was just going mad. I was like, I can't believe this. Like, yes, I was like full of energy, full of emotion. Like, it was mad. I was like, "Bro, I'm not gonna let you down. I'm gonna go and do the job." Like, just so grateful and so thankful, and just rushed full of emotion. And then as I was driving home, I was playing like this remix, like this song on The Witcher, and it's like some like hard beat, you know what I mean, like a hard trap beat that was going in the background. I was just like screaming like, yes! I was like, do you know what I mean? I was just going mad, like literally the whole way back to that last 5 minutes. I swear to God, was the most like heartfelt, like passionate freaking screams leading back up to my house.
Yeah,
and then I got back to my house, and then obviously, I don't know, I kind of like felt dizzy, I felt lightheaded, I felt weird. I was like, what the hell's going on over here? This is like surreal. I went back up to my house, I told my stepmom, I said, yo, listen, I've got some news to tell you. Like, and she thought there was something wrong, because she's like, is everything okay? And then I go to my dad's room, and he's in there, and he's like half asleep, and I go, Dad, I really need to tell you something. He goes, oh, what the fuck do you need to tell me? I'm tired. And I was like, Dad, trust me, you're gonna want to get out of bed for this one.
Yeah.
And then I got them both in the sitting room, and told them, we're back in the UFC, baby. And then so we're fighting in Perth in 2 weeks. So this and then the first thing my dad said, he goes, oh, fuck, we have to go to Australia. It was hilarious, man. Honestly. But obviously, he was very overjoyed. He was like, like obviously we done it again, like full of happiness, and man, it was a crazy experience. I mean, to do, like I say, 2 weeks notice to fly halfway across the world was mad from start to finish. It was an amazing journey, but bro, like we got there like 4 a.m. on the Wednesday before the fights. We literally had like 4 days to acclimatize to everything before the fight. So it was a mad time.
I mean, we saw on your Instagram. I'd leave on your Instagram, believe it or not. Believe it or not, and we saw how you were, taking in the environment, taking in everything, I mean, soaking it all in. And I suppose come fight night, those type of little nuances really help you in the cage. But the question I want to ask you is, fighting someone like Tyson Pedro in his hometown on short notice, and having had that call, how much pressure, and like we said, with the weight cut, you didn't care about your birthday, something you was going to celebrate later on, but you had this big task in front of you. And we all know, we're fight fans, we all know Tyson Pedro is no mug, let alone fighting in his own backyard. How much pressure was on you going into that fight for your first fight back into the UFC on short notice?
Bro, I really felt like there was no pressure. Like, I don't know, I felt like I had nothing to lose, This was my opportunity to step up. This was what I've been waiting for. This is the opportunity that I needed. I really just embraced the moment of being there. Like, it gave me energy and happiness and excitement to be there, to finally fight in front of a crowd. This is the first time I fought in the UFC in front of a 14,000 people arena. So, every single thing that we did, like from the weight cut, even like having a weight cut on my birthday, like I would rather do this on my birthday than anything else. Do you know what I mean? I just really, I kind of enjoyed it. It's good thing I didn't have that much weight to lose. Literally 45 minutes in that sauna suit, and I was absolutely fine. But I knew that it was all for a process. It was all for the bigger picture. So it was all just, for me, the excitement and the happiness and being with my family, my team, Will, and it's unfortunate that Danny couldn't be there, but obviously Will and my dad, like, they're absolutely amazing. Like I say, they really look after me, made sure I did everything on point. And having that energy as well and spirit in your corner is another amazing thing that helps carry you through all of this stuff. But for me, bro, I went to the weigh-ins, I was getting booed, and I just loved it. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't want to be getting booed every single time, but the fact that I knew I was in enemy territory just lit a fire under me. I'm like, okay, let's go. Like, this is my warrior spirit coming out. I'm going into enemy territory. Like, I just had like proper war mode in my head the whole time. Even when I was walking out, like everything from the weigh-ins and everything, bro, like I just loved it. Like, when I heard them boo me as I was walking out talking the hardest, I'm like, we are really talking the hardest out here, do you know what I'm saying? Like, having booze whilst he's going out in enemy territory. Tyson Pedro is very good, but bro, I know that I'm good as well. You know what I mean? Like, it's one thing, like, if I go in there and just be gun shy and, oh my God, the big opportunity, you ain't never going to perform, bro. What I've realized, the reason why I've been performing so well is because I'm truly living in the moment. This is the first time I could literally I could taste everything. I could feel everything. I could see everything properly. Like it was in 4K picture. Like before, it used to be like fuzzy and cloudy when I had certain losses. Like this time, everything was full. I felt it even when I was walking down through the hallways into the crowd. Like I just felt everything. And weirdly enough, I saw a flash of light. This ain't no like fucking crazy. Like genuinely, I saw like a flash of light. As they were like doing like the pre-fight like videos and that, and I could like just see my aunts. I could see my grandparents like telling me like, Modestas, you got this. And I remember telling my dad that right before we walked out. I said, listen, your parents are giving me strength. Trust me, we're going to go out and do the business. And that gave me another sense of energy and motivation, and just like the feel. It's very hard to explain to you the type of feeling that I had. It was very spiritual as well, but the fact that I was in the moment made me perform much better. I wanted to show out, bro. At the end of the day, in this life, you have to go out and just do what it is that you got to do. You know what I mean? In this life, you have to go with no fear. And doesn't matter if things like, sort of don't go your way. You got to try everything. You got to go out and put it all out on the line. Do you know what I mean? 100%. I wanted to put on a show. I wanted to really show what I'm made of, and I know I can beat this guy. So at the end of the day, you got to show your full capabilities. And I definitely felt I did more of that. It was very hard with the jet lag as well, because arriving on 4 a.m. no food. Because I didn't trust the plane food, man. So I was I had to stay very on point with all of that, So those things were difficult, having a lot of jet lag and then having to fight 4 days later. It was a madness. But bro, I wouldn't have had it any other way. Like genuinely, that was the way to solidify this comeback story. And it ain't even finished yet, mate. We've got plenty more to be done.
Oh yeah, 100%. And some of the people, like you mentioned earlier on, these are very, very important people to you. You see, every time you step out there, you see just seeing you side by side. I dubbed you lot on your story the other day, one of the hottest teams in MMA period. You know what I mean? Yeah. You, your dad, Gintas, and Will Drago. I mean, the moves that you lot been playing on the MMA scene leading up to this comeback and then getting this comeback, and Will, your cornering. Will was very vocal on your cornering, bro. Like, what was all of that? You know what I mean? Just sitting there, hearing Will, you know what I mean, giving it to you, hyping you up, releasing more energy. Your dad doing the tactical side of things. What was, just getting all of that together, and you all made the journey together. They've seen your journey. They've seen your comeback. But you need allowing you to give up and just get it done in there, man. Please tell us.
Yeah, like you need people that care about you, like, I've seen people that go with teams that don't really give a shit about their fight. It's not to say they don't care, but they're just like, oh, this is another number on the roster. Yeah. For the people that I have around me, they really care about my progress, my success, me doing well. Like, you can feel it. Like I said, the energy and the vibrations between us as a team is next level, and I've got to say, Danny Batten is also part of that very strong, solid group, and Aria as well, who does my jiu-jitsu. You've got people that really love you and care about you, and that's what brings the best out of me, because I know they've really got my best interests at the heart. And clearly with Will, he really badly wanted me to win, because he felt that my victory was also his victory, which he's 100% right in saying. And we had Dad like the grandmaster, do you know what I mean, out there giving me good advice and good. It's just energy, spirit. The vibrations were very high when we went out there, and it continues to be like that. Our relationship only gets better and stronger as time goes on, and you can see the length of care and support that I have in my team, and this is why we succeed, because we, like I say, when you got people giving you advice and help from the heart, that's when you get, like I say, that's when you get the best results, and definitely in my case.
Yeah, 100%. That's just evident to see, man, and people that trying to get into this game. If you're watching and you're trying to get into this game, this is the best advice you could get from what Big Mody is saying right here. Just go and get you a team that cares about you. That you're not just a number. You're not just another paycheck. They actually care about you succeeding, and that's one of the ingredients to succeeding in the fight game. If you ever want to get into the fight game, just got it right there. Heard it right there from Big Mody himself. I wanted to talk to you about, obviously, your walkout song, Talking the Hardest, gigs. What was like the decision to really pick that song, and the version we got was like slightly tweaked. What was the decision behind all of that? And as gigs reached out to you, walking out to his song on a UFC pay-per-view card.
Yeah, I know. I need to get me a word out here. You know
but I need to tag him, man. Someone needs to tag him.
But bro, I tried tagging him on my Instagram. I don't think he even has Instagram, bro. But like, bro, that's been my song. I've got to give a shout out to my good friend Kimon. He told me from the beginning. He says, "Mate, if you came out to this, it'll be fucking hard." And I was like, ever since then, I've always made like little remixes with that tune. Now, bro, when I played the Gladiator theme into Talking the Hardest for New Year's Eve, oh my god, that went in. It's like, bro, Team USA v Team Europe. What better way to represent Team Europe than to play that? Do you know what I mean? It's like one of the old school hardcore like anthems, you know. And bro, we're in Australia. We need to represent. Do you know what I'm saying? We need to represent the UK like, properly. You know what I mean? So that's why we had to get talking. And the thing is, it's like when you hear that play in the background, no matter how many boos are being thrown at you, you are like, I'm ready to come at all you lot. Do you know what I'm saying? I have to admit, the Australian crowd were amazing. I'm so glad that they get behind their fighters the way that they did. They're absolutely amazing. They gave me respects afterwards, which was very nice to see. But and I had like a little remix. It was like so I had the Gladiator, because the walkout, you're not allowed to have like a very long walkout, so I had to shorten the Gladiator bit. Gotcha. And then I had a remix with another artist. So there was two artists. So it's like because I remember hearing it on a mix one time. I'm like, I need to find this particular remix of this song, and I don't know. It just went really well, you know. Talking the Hardest, and then it had like another little switch into another song in there as well. So yeah, bro. I mean, listen, what better way to go out into enemy territory, to go out to war, go out to battle than, you know, they're playing that song. So yeah, that's my vibe, man. That song is here to stay, brother.
For real. Well, we see that. I mean, anybody that follows you on your Insta, they could go right there and see what, you know what I mean, and see that, like, you know, it's something that is a song that you really fuck with. Now let's change gears a little bit. The landscape of 205 at the moment is changed since Johnny Bones Jones left. I mean, the belt is like a hot potato at the moment, man. You know what I mean? The belt is moving around. He's moving around rapidly. You know, we've seen a few champions since he left, from Yan to Yuri to Glover, now Jamal Hill. You know, there's the belt is not really. I wouldn't say it's found a home yet. We'll see. Maybe after somebody defends it for a couple times, 3 times, the belt can start feeling like it has a home. But right now, it's like it's just being passed around for the moment. But looking at the landscape of 205, you know, just that division in itself, how many fights do you see? Maybe let's say in this 2023, do you see that where you can start getting into the rankings and maybe start looking above and start calling out some real people that can get you nearer to that top spot? Because I have a feeling if you get up there with the landscape of what's up there right now, we could have a light heavyweight champion in the UFC. I'm feeling it.
Trust me.
I'm feeling it, my brother.
Brother, they know I'm coming up, man. They know I'm coming up. I reckon with 6 fights, I should be fighting for a belt. And I'll be taking the right fights, you know, calling out the appropriate people. But you know, six, seven fights, and I should be up there fighting for a title. So at the end of the day, you got to pick them off one by one. You can't look past no one. You got to make sure you got the rankings the right way, build up your confidence, and then start calling out those names and then go and taking them out one by one. This is what we're here for. You know what I mean? We're here to just take them down. Do you know what I mean? You got one person lined up, you smash them. You got another one lined up, you smash them, and then you keep winning. You get rewarded. So I'm here to keep winning, and I'm here to get rewarded, and I'm here to grab that belt. That's for sure.
100%, man. I love that mentality right there, man. I love it. Following this fight in Perth, you know, Australia UFC 284, you wanted a quick turnaround, and we, again, you know, through your social media, we saw you talking, we saw you calling out the bear Jew, calling out Paul Craig, trying to get to UFC London. How does that look now? And if in fact whether it's going to happen or not, if it doesn't happen at UFC London, is Paul Craig still an opponent that you would fight on any card? Maybe it's a fight night card, whether it's a pay-per-view, you don't care, you still want him as an opponent. And what's the prospect of UFC London happening for you, my brother?
Yeah, so let's put it this way: I'll be attending. I won't be competing, but I'll definitely be attending. I'll definitely show my face there. You know, meet some of the fans, meet some of the people there. So that'll be good. I mean, look, to be honest, I made that call out because it made sense. For two UK guys to fight for that number one spot. Just because I saw that as a favourable matchup for me. Obviously now, to be honest, it'll be out of place for me to call in for another event. But bro, you got to work your way up the ranks, and I'm ready to go. Look, I took my opportunity, I called my shot, didn't happen. Okay, got to take some risks, right? But like I say, the landscape of the division, there's loads of fights available, especially towards the bottom half. So look, I'll take them off one by one. You know what I mean? So wherever the road leads me next, I'm ready for. But I'm hoping to fight, probably May, June time. We'll see what happens. We'll see what my management says. But for now, we keep training, we keep getting better. When that call comes though, we'll be ready.
Great to hear that, man. Great to hear that. I've seen, through some of the research that my team has done, that my people's done, we know that the actual loss that you had to Khalil Roundtree wasn't exactly pleasing to you, in the fact that you, in your heart of heart, knew, even with the injury, and you knew about the injury before going into that fight. You knew, what that injury was. You just didn't think it was going to get that bad after the fight. But you had a roadmap to get through that fight with Khalil Roundtree. Now, when you had that fight, you weren't happy. You weren't happy with how the fight turned out, not because of the injury, but because of your own performance in that fight. Is Khalil somebody that you want to get back in the octagon and facing to try and get that fight back, at least satisfy that loss, satisfy that feeling inside your heart that you didn't really perform to the best of your ability? Or is Khalil in the rear view mirror now? You're looking forward, you're looking upwards, and you're not bothered about that fight now?
Bro, he's in the top 15. So if that's someone that I need to take out in my path towards the top, then I will go and take that path. So, at the end of the day, he won that fight. Fair play to him. If the rematch comes to fruition, well, then hell yeah, we're going to take it. So, at the end of the day, I don't pick my fights. Obviously, my management, they sort of tell me which direction we're going in. Obviously, if that matchup makes sense, of course I'll ask for the rematch. You know what I mean? It'll be a big story for sure. But I will definitely be going into all these fights with some extra fire and flame that I didn't have before. So yeah, man. Like I say, every challenge that I'm going to face now, I'm going to be coming in there with much more aggression, much better skill set, and we're definitely ready to put on those performances that I've been meaning to do before. I wasn't ready back then, but now
we can definitely see that through your performances of late, and how active you've been as well. It's unheard of. 5-6 fights in the space of what, 4 months? It's a madness.
Bro, if I could have done 4 fights in 4 months, I would have. Do you know what I mean? If I could have fought on the UFC London card, trust me, I would have. 3 fights in 3 months, though, we'll take that. Do you know what I mean? At least we got the streak up to 3. So if we have to wait a little bit longer for the next one, it's all good. But you know me, man. If I'm in shape, which I am all the time, I'm ready to go. So
yeah, man. We love that about you, man. I mean, I wanted to ask you about one of your compatriots in the UFC, and she I'm talking about Rose Namajunes here. She's Lithuanian, just like you. Have you both kind of like interacted, maybe
Yes.
cross-passing, and talked
I tell
about?
you what.
There's not a lot of Lithuanians out there, man. The same way with the Brazilians, the Africans, or please tell us, because I'm a big fan.
She gave me a bit of Lithuanian luck, bro. Because so obviously Pat Barry was cornering Alonso Menefield, and Pat Barry is Rose's partner.
Yeah.
And I remember he saw the Lithuanian flag on my dad's t-shirt. We were all wearing our t-shirts with Team Bukauskas, and he saw the Lithuanian flag. He's like, "Are you guys like Lithuanian?" And then we started getting talking or whatever. And then I remember we were just talking, like I was saying, I'm such a massive fan of Rose, and he was telling us a story about how she did like a tour because she's releasing a documentary about herself, and then she went to like a place where someone was in a coma, and she spoke to them like in Lithuanian, like as they were in a coma, and then the next day they woke up from the coma. Then the next time that the Kaunas, I think it's Žalgiris, were losing their basketball game, she went in at halftime and spoke to the team, and then they ended up winning the game afterwards. So and then afterwards, Pat Barry literally just took his phone out, and then my dad's like looking at this screen and sees Rose. It's like, are you showing me a picture? Like, what's going on? It was bloody Rose Namajunes on the phone, on freaking FaceTime. I was like, what? No way. And I had like a little conversation with her. I just told her how she's like my idol and like an absolutely amazing athlete, and she gave me her well wishes for the fight, and that just gave me so much energy. I'm like, bro, if you got Rose Namajunes giving you props, like telling you good luck, there's no way you're losing. Do you know what I'm saying?
Bro,
so
for real,
she gave me another. So her streak of good luck continued for the fight as well. So yeah, it was absolutely amazing. To have that energy and just to all connect with the Lithuanian athletes, you know what I mean? So to have now, I think there's 3 now Lithuanians in the UFC, including myself. I'm the only male, but yeah, it's just amazing to have that connection with these amazing celebrities and amazing fighters, and coming from the same country, such a small country as well. It was a very special moment for me having that, and then to get the win as well, even better.
That's brilliant, man. We know how spiritual Rose is. She's very, very spiritual, and she, the way she presents herself and go about her business, top fighter. I got a lot of respect for her. I love how she works, and it's good that you Lithuanians are now connecting, like I said, over there in the UFC, man. It's a good thing to see, man. It's a beautiful thing.
No doubt.
And I was going to ask you about some of the other fights that, well, not even some. The one fight that happened on your card, Volkanovski, Makhachev. I don't know if you had time to see it in the back after the fight.
I watched it. I watched it after the fight.
You watched the fight. What did you make of the fight? And was you surprised at how good Volk was in that fight? Because nobody was expecting that.
I was very impressed with Volk, man. He really took it to. I mean, I do believe Makhachev really just edged it. Like very close fight. I think, like I say, Makhachev just edged it, but Volkanovski really showed his athleticism, his strength, his resilience, his striking. He did really well. I thought he did absolutely amazing for being a guy that was clearly smaller, coming from the lower weight class. I thought he put on an absolute performance, and what a way to do it in his hometown. So definitely shows why he's definitely up in that pound for pound rankings list. But fair play to Makhachev as well for sticking out with his game plan and doing what he had to do to get the win. So yeah, it was an obviously amazing fight, but Volkanovski, what a guy.
Yeah, man. I mean, the thing that gets to Volkanovski as well, I love the way he fights, but when he's in trouble, say like maybe he has a submission threat or you drop him, you see, as soon as he gets himself out of that situation or he gets back up, the way he puts hands on the opponents is crazy. He really lets them have it. And we saw him do it with Ortega. We've seen him do it with Makhachev. It's crazy. It's crazy that his strength, his athleticism, the way he goes about approaching the fight. It's just mad to see. And for you to be on a big card like that is a testament to how far you've come. I mean, our fans and the awards that we did at the end of the year, we gave you the the comeback athlete of the year, because we've seen the grind, we've seen what you've had to go through, we've seen the comeback. You told us the story, and it's just evident that you want this so much, you want this so bad. You know, you want it more than air itself, and it's pleasing to see, man. It's so pleasing to see.
I appreciate that, brother. Listen, I'll never be the one to give up. I know how good I am. I think, you know, if you've got a dream, you've got to stay true to it. You've got to stick to it. You know, no matter what adversity we face, you can come out. Listen, I'm not nothing special by any means. I'm just a normal guy. Do you know what I mean? I've had similar dreams like other people. I've just worked extremely hard, stayed determined, stayed dedicated, and still kept believing in myself when no one else did, when everyone left my side. So, you know, I had a very close, tight-knit people around me to help me get through these hard times. It just shows you that no matter what adversity you face, no matter what part of life you're in, you can and you will get out. All you got to do is just have like a little timeline, just pick off little goals day by day, one by one, and then eventually you get to your ultimate goal. There's still much more to be done, but if this is a testament to that, you know, anyone can overcome adversity, this would definitely be a true showing of that, that's for sure.
100%. I wanted to ask you about two more situations here. Valentina Shevchenko and Alexa Grasso. Was you surprised with Grasso, her preparation, how come she was under pressure, and the execution of her game plan? Because videos has been going, we've seen the videos doing the rounds of how she was preparing on that back spinning kick that left Shevchenko's back exposed, and then she jumped on it, and that's all she wrote. What did you make of that fight? Because Shevchenko lost me my parlay, bro. I ain't happy. I had a parlay.
Do you know what? I definitely did not see that coming. Obviously, Shevchenko is very, very technical, very, very skillful. So I wouldn't have seen. I definitely didn't see that happening. But Grasso, you know, MMA is a game of opportunity sometimes, and sometimes you got to go take what's given to you. And she was practicing that; she knew it was going to be coming. So credit to her game plan and her coaches for getting that ready. And obviously, she's very dangerous when she gets on the back. So, you know, it was very weird for me to see, because Shevchenko, I genuinely didn't think she was going to lose ever because she's just that good. But Grasso did an amazing job to take advantage of that opportunity and really just sink it in. And obviously, when you're a title challenger, obviously you have a bit more of a fire or an edge to how you're executing your technique. So fair play to her. Yeah, it was a very, very, very good win for her.
Which one do you rate more? The Pena win over Amanda Nunes, or this one? Because I feel like the Pena win was more of a maybe luck on her side, but this one I feel like it was more calculated. I don't know, but tell me, what do you think?
I don't know.
You're the one that's in there all the time.
But both of them were mad, bro. I really did not see Pena winning. She was throwing out looping shots. I think, yeah, if you're talking from a technical aspect, from a technical aspect, I'll say Grasso seems like the more, you know, the better win in my opinion. But you know, Pena at the end of the day, she took on an absolute monster in Amanda Nunes, you know, like one of the best women's fighters ever, and you know, took it to her and you know, showed her that with a bit of grit and a bit of determination, you can bang out the good shots and get the win. So you know, this game is crazy. You know, it's literally just going from one to the other. It's absolutely mad. So yeah, man. I'll still say the Grasso win was probably more of a better win. Yeah,
I agree with you. 100%. And lastly, before you go, you said you're going to be in attendance. Hopefully, I'm going to be glued to the TV. when they pan on you, you know what I mean. We're going to be shouting in my front room. We're doing a watch along to that, so people come and join us for the watch along. We're definitely going to be doing the watch along for UFC 286. Usman versus Loen Edwards. It's getting closer and closer. I'm seeing Loen Edwards. I'm seeing the way he's preparing. This brother's looking sharp. He's looking razor sharp. Usman ain't even said nothing to no one this entire time. He's keeping his cards close to his chest. How do you see this one going down? Like, the closer it gets. Like, I've flip-flopped about 15 times thinking about this fight. But we're a week and a few days removed from the fight. What do you how do you think it's gonna go down? Where's this fight gonna be won and lost?
I think Edwards will take this fight, bro. He's fighting his hometown. He's fighting in London. You know, Usman is at a severe disadvantage. The fact that he lost on his home turf, and now he's got to go to enemy territory to go and beat a man who's, you know, he's got the whole country on his shoulders. Leon showed many sparks of brilliance in that fight, especially in the jiu-jitsu area. You know, I think the altitude definitely played a role in Leon not being quite as responsive in certain areas in that fight. You know, I think he's going to be a lot sharper, a lot more energetic within this fight. He's going to be able to do things better than what he's done before, you know, and Leon's obviously going to learn from particular mistakes that he had in that last fight, you know, and I think that's always going to ring true in the back of Usman's head now. This guy's got knockout power. Do you know what I mean? He's got that one shot kill that I've got to be wary of. So I think that's going to give Leon some confidence, and it's going to be I definitely think it's going to be a very close fight again. I think Usman's wrestling is still very sharp, but judging by Leon's progression within the sport and the way that he's doing things, I think he will take this fight.
Yeah, 100%. The more that I think about it, and I think about how impressive Leon was in that first round as well, taking Usman down, controlling him the way he did, like nobody saw that one coming. I didn't even think that was even possible like that, and Leon just did it with ease. Like he controlled Usman couldn't get off. He controlled him. Like that's crazy. It's not something that we're used to seeing, and him having that confidence going into this next fight. And how sharp he is with his hands, man. And you know, because people been saying that, you know, he's been falling in love with his hands. You know, he was knocking people out. I mean, if you knock someone out the way you knocked the way he knocked out Masvidal in that fashion, you probably be falling in love with your hands as well. But he did it with Pedro Burns, done it with Colby Covington. So I feel like he had every reason to start trusting his hands. But I don't know how he even approaches this fight, like, because everything that I think he's good at, I really think Leon has a way of negating it.
Yeah, well, I definitely agree with you. I think he'll probably take more of a wrestling heavy approach this time. But again, if that game plan gets negated and it's got to go back to the stand up, you know, Leon's got insane kickboxing. So I'm very interested. It's going to be a great fight.
Yeah, man, I'm intrigued as well, man, and you know, you're gonna be there. We're gonna be keeping an eye out, and we're gonna be doing a watch along for it on the Fight Week show. Big Mody, you're always generous with us with your time, as usual. Thank you so much.
No worries.
For the time that you give us, for always, you know, keeping it 100 with us. And we really, really appreciate you, brother.
Mate, it's always a freaking pleasure. You're the man. I freaking love talking to you all the time, bro. Like, honestly, you're such a sick guy. It's a great show. You've done an amazing job with it. And yeah, there'll be many more conversations we'll have in the future, my friend.
Thank you very much, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And people, up onto the next video. We're out.
Hey guys, this is John Anik from the UFC. You're watching the Fight Week show. Please subscribe. Not now, but right now. Subscribe to the Fight Week show. We'll see you guys on the road soon.